Pokemon has always been a big part of my life. I've been playing it casually on and off for about 20 years, but I've never considered playing it competitively, until recently. One day, I was watching YouTube when I saw Ludwig streaming Point Crow and Peachow's Nuzlocke Invitational. I thought it was just going to be a fun event where streamers did a Nuzlocke and then battled at the very end, which it was, but with one huge twist. The battles were played using the official VGC rule set. This meant double battles, competitive strategies, items, abilities, pretty much everything that VGC had to offer. At first, I didn't really think much of it, but the more that I watched the team building process, the more that I realized how deep Pokemon could really be. All of a sudden, moves that I thought were useless, like Helping Hand or Follow Me, were absolutely game-changing in the right context. And that was it. I knew I had to dive into VGC myself, and honestly, I think right now is the best time for anyone to start competitive Pokemon. The first step I knew I had to take was to play through Pokemon Violet. I wanted to get familiar with all the new Pokemon, and especially the new terrestrialization mechanic, since being able to change a Pokemon's type once per battle is especially pivotal to Gen 9. I wasn't really a big fan of Pokemon Sword and Shield, so I was kind of reluctant to get into Pokemon Violet, but to my surprise, Violet was genuinely a lot of fun and probably the most fun I've had playing a Pokemon game in a long time. This game felt a lot less hand-holdy than something like Sword and Shield, and it added some really nice quality of life changes, such as being able to relearn moves at any time, or having all the competitive items sold for Pokédollars instead of BP. These changes and many more made it feel a lot easier to get into VGC, and it was also a bonus that I enjoyed the current gen Pokemon game. After beating the game, I knew it was time for me to build my first ever competitive team. And that felt a little overwhelming because there's actually more possible team combinations of Pokemon than stars in the universe. So I decided to keep it simple and start with a Pokemon that I've always loved, Kyogre. It was the first legendary I ever caught back in Pokemon Sapphire, and it just felt right to build around it. The next step was picking my second restricted Pokemon since the current rule set allows for two. I went with Miraidon, not only because it's incredibly strong, but because its electric terrain can power up Kyogre's thunder, making them a good natural duo. Plus, I love the symbolism of combining my very first legendary with my newest one. It felt like the perfect way to start my competitive journey. Next, I filled out the rest of my team with some of the top competitive picks people were recommending: Rillaboom, Incineroar, Urshifu Rapid Strike, and Fluttermane. Honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. I just picked strong Pokemon and hoped for the best. After learning about EVs, IVs, optimal moves, and items, I finally hopped into my very first competitive battle. And that's when I learned something new. You can only bring 4 out of your 6 Pokemon into battle, which makes team selection have a whole extra layer of strategy. I don't remember every detail of my first match, but I do remember Kyogre clicking Water Spout and my opponent having absolutely no answer. I ended up steamrolling in just a couple of turns, and it felt amazing, like all the prep work I did was finally paying off. Unfortunately, that feeling didn't really last too long because I decided to play a couple more matches and I just started losing, quite a bit. My team had a ton of weaknesses and I didn't know how to cover them yet, but here's the thing, even while I was losing, I was having more fun than I've ever had with a Pokemon game. Suddenly, Pokemon wasn't just a kid's adventure where you can just mash A to win. It felt like a deep strategic RPG where every decision I made mattered. After a few battles, I realized my team had a huge weakness: speed. Most opponents either outsped me outright, or they would set up Trick Room, a move that reverses turn order, which makes it so my faster Pokemon will move after my opponent's slower Pokemon. I needed an answer for this, and that's when I found Tornadus. Tornadus was a perfect Pokemon for my team. Thanks to its ability Prankster, it can set up Tailwind right at the start of battle, doubling my team's speed for 4 turns. It also learns Taunt, which shuts down Trick Room before it can even happen. And its signature move, Bleak Wind Storm, hits both opponents with a chance to lower their speed. Plus, in Rain, which Kyogre can set up, by the way. The move has perfect accuracy. On top of that, I gave Tornadus Rain Dance to reset the weather if my opponent tried to counter the rain from Kyogre. All of this that Tornadus can do made me think it was going to be way more valuable than someone on my team such as Urshifu, who is strong but too frail, and it was kind of redundant since Kyogre already had strong water moves. So I decided to swap them out, and that's when my team really started to feel like it was coming together. Alright, so for this video, I kind of just wanted to jump into a ranked battle on Violet here with my team that I made earlier in the video. Alright, we just found someone, and I'm kind of just want to go through my thought process while I'm doing this battle, so you can kind of get an idea of what it's like to do a competitive battle. So it looks like this guy wants to kind of brute force me down with a lot of damage and set up Tailwind with Whimsicott. So I think I'm gonna have to start out Tornadus here so I can taunt the Whimsicott, and then I'll start Flutter Mane, and we'll put Kyogre and Miraidon in the back. He is a pretty physical damage heavy team, so Incineroar could be good here, but I feel like if we can get set up with Tornadus and just have Kyogre sweep with Water Spout, things should go smooth. And I'm by no means an expert, so I don't know if this is going to go exactly how I planned it. It's probably not, but it is what it is. Alright. And just for the record, my whole team is based off of, or they're named off of Final Fantasy VI characters, except for Flutter Mane, because I had to trade for it. But if I were to name it, it would be Terra. Okay, anyways. We are going to taunt. I think we're going to Terra Dark and taunt the Whimsicott so I can't get taunted, because Prankster cannot affect Dark-type Pokemon. And we are going to Protect with Flutter Mane, just to kind of get a feel for what's going on here. I could probably attack the Miraidon, but I don't know. I felt this was a pretty safe play. So hopefully he doesn't tear back. I forgot the fact that Whimsicott just outspeeds me, and it has Prankster, so that didn't really work, but whatever. Now, okay, I'm glad I protected. He's probably just going to Moonblast the Tornadus if I had to guess. Can't really switch into Kyogre because I need him to be healthy, or Miraidon because it'll be a one-shot or take a lot of damage from Moonblast, probably. So I think I just have to try to set up Tailwind, and then he'll Moonblast the Miraidon. Okay. Oh yeah, I have Prankster, so of course I go first. I can get the Tailwind up. Perfect. And that almost took out Miraidon. And yep, there's the Moonblast and Tornadus, but we do live. And then the Electro Drift into Tornadus. Oh, never mind. Flutter Mane. But I do have the Focus Sash, so I do live. Perfect. Well, Whimsicott can only switch or use Moonblast. I think that's fine. We got Tailwind set up. So Flutter Mane should kind of outspeed everyone. I think we'll just go for Bleak Wind and Icy Wind. I think that is fine. Okay, gonna protect with Miraidon. I think getting speed control on this Whimsicott is probably a good idea. That actually almost killed. I was not expecting that. Oh, okay, it was a crit. I was gonna say, that was non-stab. And it's not like Icy Wind is strong. But we do take out the Wismicott here with Bleak Wind Storm with Tornadus. That's very nice to know. I don't know who he's going to switch in. I don't think it'll be Landorus. I don't think there's really a point to Landorus here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, the Calyrex. So I think to take out this Calyrex, something has to die on my side. And I send out Kyogre, and I think Water Spout will one-shot it. So I'm just going to go for the Bleak Winds and the Shadow Ball on the Calyrex. It should do a lot of damage. Almost took him out. Another crit from Fluttermane. That's crazy. The Electro Drift from Miraidon takes out Fluttermane, but that's probably ideal here. If Tornadus can get off a Bleak Wind and just kill both of them, that would be awesome. Okay, I missed someone at least. But the Calyrex does go down, so he's in a very bad position, honestly. And his Tailwind ran out, so I'm going to be faster on this turn, basically no matter what. So Kyogre should just be able to take him out here. Alright, we have Urshifu and Miraidon, but I don't think it really matters. I don't even know if a Choice Scarf Urshifu will take me out. So I'm just going to go for... I could go for Water Spout, but Thunder on the Urshifu does sound good. I outspeeded both my Pokemon because of Tailwind, probably. But I think this is fine. I think Electric Terrain is out still. Yeah, it is. Okay, so he Terra'd. Who did he Terra? Terra Ghost on the Urshifu. Interesting. Now I kind of regret clicking Thunder. I should have gone for the Water Spout, but it is what it is. I don't think I'm in a particularly good spot. My Tailwind is going to run out this turn. Hopefully this paralyzes. That would be good. Oh, it just kills. Okay, never mind. So, at this point, there's probably nothing he can do. I think that... Yeah, because I don't think Miraidon will have any spread moves. But I can just go ahead and Tailwind and a Water Spout, and should just be a win from there. Okay, he forfeited. Perfect. And yeah, I guess that worked out really well. Alright. Kind of an anticlimactic end to the battle, but I'll take the win nonetheless. So, in conclusion, I kind of wanted to just reiterate all of the points I made earlier in the video. Like, how even though I'm still new to competitive Pokemon, this has been an extremely fun learning experience, and I can't wait to keep playing and learning more and finding new creative ways to win battles. Also, earlier I mentioned that right now is probably the best time to start playing competitive Pokemon, and I agree with that because there's just so many helpful tools out right now that can help you on your way in your journey. Like Pokemon Showdown is a great battle simulator where you don't even have to have any Pokemon. You can just jump into battling and make your team. And then if you're playing on Scarlet and Violet, you can just look for rental teams online and use teams that people already built. Also, Pokemon Champions is coming out early next year, and that will kind of be Pokemon's official version of Pokemon Showdown, which I'm really looking forward to, and that's kind of why I wanted to start playing VGC in the first place. So I'm really hoping that's good. So if you're someone that's new to competitive Pokemon, or you're on the fence about trying it, I would absolutely recommend doing it. Like, if you like Pokemon battling, like, at all, I would definitely recommend just trying it out. Like, I don't even know why I didn't try this out earlier. Also, I just kind of want to let you know to subscribe because I'm going to be documenting my Pokemon VGC journey as I continue to grow and get more experienced. And Hopefully I'll improve over time, but we'll see. If I've convinced you to give competitive Pokemon a try, I'd really like you to let me know what kind of team you're using in the comments. Also, if you're not new to competitive Pokemon, I would really want you to leave some tips in the comments for me or anyone else that's new to VGC, and I think it would just be very helpful. So that's all for this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.